Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's Rural Report. I am Nina Lanuza. I'm the Senior Community Organizer with Centro for Rural Affairs. And today with me, we have Liz Rodriguez from Centro Hispano Comunitario de Nebraska from Columbus, Nebraska. Here, today we're going to talk about the importance of being a welcoming community and how some local nonprofits like Centro Hispano is making a difference in rural Nebraska. So welcome, Liz.
Hi, hello everyone who's watching.
Hi, can you talk us a little bit more about who you are and what's your role at Centro?
Sure. So my name is Liz Rodriguez, and I am the Welcoming and Belonging Director here at Centro Hispano. My job consists of being that person that invites, but not also invites, but make sure that the community feels welcome and also feels as they belong within this community that we now call Columbus. I've been here for about close to 5 years in February, and this is my home for about 9 years. So that's part of who I am, yes.
Can you talk us a little bit more about what the Centro Hispano does?
Yes, so for sure. So we are Centro Hispano here in Columbus, Nebraska, and we work on fostering intentional change and developing meaningful relationship with our community members around diversity, inclusion, and equitable opportunities for all. Our mission statement is to foster intentional change for immigrant families, learners, and entrepreneurs through our direct services programming and advocacy. All that being said is just we are there to help those who need help. And that is done through our services, our programming, and our advocacy direct services like our family assistance program. Our programming, such as our immigration legal services, where we provide at low cost for those who have certain petitions in immigration. And we have also our adult education program. And our adult education program consists of not only GED classes, but also business classes and computer classes, and so much other stuff that is going on in the work. So that is part of what Centro does within the community. And we all not only service Platte County, we do service Colfax County here in Nebraska, Madison County, and really all the state. And we are looking to, help those who come through our doors.
Yeah, that's really important. But how do you think Centro can make sure that it's engaging with a diverse community members at their events and services?
So going back to what I do, especially, which is welcoming and belonging, welcoming is having that feeling of making sure you come into somewhere new and that person feels feels welcome. Belonging really means is that not only do they feel welcome, but they feel like they're actually part of the community. And part of or rather, let's say, what is it that we do in turn is very well embedded in welcoming and belonging. So we make sure that in all our events and our classes, our services, we provide that inclusion, or we make sure we have that door open to inclusion and diversity. So that means that if that person needs some assistance, as in the language, that there's someone there who is able to speak their languages. Most of our services are all in Spanish. All the staff here is bilingual. So that is a barrier we try to break. And that makes that person feel as though, hey, they speak my language. I feel like they know, and I feel like I belong here. But not only that, we also have classes that are both morning and in the afternoon. And so we have some parents who cannot go to classes in the morning because they're working. So they come in the afternoon. So that makes sure that we are including those parents who need that helping with their timing, We also have events that do not occur during the weekday, but rather on weekends. So everyone who has access can have access to come to through our doors. So it talks a lot about not only language, because if we just say language, that's so it's just one barrier, but it's rather a whole mess of things. Um, we make sure that we're able to get the word out, especially when we're promoting our events. We make sure it's both English and Spanish, but even if that person doesn't understand English or Spanish, we try to make it that if they come to us asking about it, we try to communicate in one form or another the information that they need so they can have access to that type of service or event. So we try to promote our events through our social media, but not only through our social media, but going through the grocery store, going to the little tiendas, to the little stores, not only here in Columbus, but in Schuyler, handing out flyers and going to the churches to reach those who really need that help. So those are just some of the ways that we promote our services to include everybody.
Yeah, and that's really important. And seriously, that's a very like huge step that Centro is putting, to make sure that it's serving all the people who needs the assistance and help. Well, it's well known in rural Nebraska that currently Columbus it's gaining some recognition for the efforts that people in this community are doing to become a welcoming community. Can you talk a little bit more about how Centro is being involved in this process?
So a lot of or not, again, I say a lot, but it's all of our work is embedded into that inclusion and that involvement. So that would mean stepping into meetings and arenas and places that we were not stepping into before, but now that we are. And that is going to some meeting with the city council, or that means going out to meet with other nonprofit organizations such as Center, sorry, my English and my Spanish are mixing, Center for Rural Affairs.
And we're inclusive, so it's okay.
My Spanglish is coming out, my apologies. But so that means collaborating, and that means being in places where we were not there, but now we are. So we have got onto boards. Some of our staff members are on boards that we were not on before. Some of our staff members go to these community meetings that are needed, and a lot of collaboration. It's a lot of collaboration with a lot of different other organizations that help the advocacy, the programming, and the direct services, and that helps Centro propel what our mission and our vision is for the Columbus community.
Yeah. So a lot of people that it's currently watching this video will say like, okay, so this is a Center for Rural Affairs Facebook page. What are we hearing about Centro? And as Liz mentioned, this is really important because it's a work in progress. It's a teamwork. It's definitely something that we need to work as a collaboration. So Liz, can you share with the people who is currently watching us about all the events that CFRA and Centro have been working together in the Columbus area? And just to mention an example, it's like the Welcoming Week, like the a Foundation to Change workshop that we just currently host for the first time in Spanish. Can you elaborate a little bit more why it's important for smaller nonprofits like Centro Hispano to have the support from other nonprofits, entities, businesses? As you mentioned, it takes a whole village, it takes a whole community to make this happen. Can you talk a little bit more about it?
Sure. So to answer your first question, what Centro for Rural Affairs has helped us is help expand what we started off small, but now have grown to be bigger. Being that as it may, and an example that you had stated was Welcoming Week. So the support that we got from Centro, again, Center for Rural Affairs, was the participation of being there, being actively there. And Welcoming Week, so it's Welcoming Week is celebrated in September this year from the 9th through the 18th. And it was basically a whole week celebrating the newcomers and the diversity in those newcomers, but not only the diversity, as just making sure they feel as belong. So we had so many numerous events. We had an art class, we had voting, we had a phone voting marathon. We also had a proclamation at the end of the week, which was the end off of the thing. And we also had Girl Scouts meetings and stuff like that. So it wasn't a whole involvement of the community, but how Center for Rural Affairs helped us was the actual involvement in it, is being participant of their being present and making sure that they were seen with Centro to be able to have these events take off. Now, within our own programming, we have what is the business classes, and Center for Rural Affairs has helped us immensely with providing the teachers, providing the instructors, providing those who are able to teach the certain subjects for that particular day. So that is a big help, because we as a small nonprofit, we don't know everything and we don't know everyone. So we need those connections. And so thank God we have Center for Rural Affairs for that. We also have the Foundation to Change, which was held in Spanish, which is for me, as I had said before privately to you, Nina, it was an awesome experience. Being able to not only hear from others, but to be trained to be able to speak about certain issues that we normally don't speak about out loud. And that was such an awesome experience to be able to do it not only with my fellow colleagues, but with other community members that I don't know much about, but we were there. And Center was able to make that happen. And especially in a language that normally is not something that you do at conference. Everything is usually in English. So, but being able to communicate that is an experience, and I hope it grows. So that's some of the support that we have gotten from Center. And to answer your second question, I think the importance of the diversity needed, or especially with the collaboration, it's so much. As I said before, we don't know everything as a small organization. We don't know everyone. We don't have all the resources, but to have another organization that does have those connections, and not only connections, but does that reliability for us to lean on and to be guided and to be helped, it really takes your vision and mission to a whole new level. And we're not longer thinking small, but we're thinking bigger because we have someone who supports it. And so I think it's very important for that collaboration to always happen, and to be able not only to be seen with, how would I say that, seen with people from your community, but other people from other communities, so they can input and say, hey, this has worked. Maybe you can tailor it to your community.
Mhm.
And
But also it's really important, like for organization like Center for Rural Affairs, that it's, like covers more area. It's also really important to connect with local nonprofits like Centro. Why? Because, you already have a presence in your community, your community,
mhm,
people trust you. So again, at the end of the day, collaboration is the key.
yeah,
So this is amazing. I think it's for the well-being of the communities, and hopefully more communities, as you mentioned, can take this as an example to, to be more welcoming, to be, to create that sense of belonging in their own communities. So Liz, just to end this conversation, that it has been amazing, and thank you for sharing all of that. Can you talk us a little bit of, or to give us a couple of priorities that it will be crucial for for Centro to work on in the next couple months, couple years? Like what are how do you prioritize what is needed right now?
That's a really good question. I think obviously one of our things to be prioritized is the diversity and inclusion, but also mix in that with the collaboration and that. But you also start local. And I think with that being said, the collaboration with other organizations, not only for a center, but also all these other collaborations that we're with, Centro itself has been able to envision itself growing and growing and growing to the point as it that we want to take on this major thing collaboration, which we have announced of what we now call the center. It's a welcoming center that will happen here in Columbus. It's a little hub of all these different organizations where we can have that tangible sense of welcoming and belonging for the community. And that's what we envisioned for ourselves. And our priority right now is setting up those steps, but also going up those steps to get to what we want. And has it been easy? No, but it's so worth it, because what we're gonna see in the long run is this hub of community that we are on the journey to see. So we are so excited to prioritize our work in the welcoming and the belonging aspect of all what we do. So thank you for your questions, and thank you for allowing me to be here and talk to you about what Centro does and what welcoming and belonging and diversity and inclusion is for us. Thank you so much, Nina.
And thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time. And thank you everyone who is watching this video, and please don't hesitate to contact us either at, with Tulise and at Centro Hispano, and to me at Center for Rural Affairs. Leave your comments down below. We will make sure to reply back or to get a hold of whoever who needs more information or wants to be involved in the process. And thank you again. Have a good rest of your day, and thank you for watching.
You.